On the next episode of World in America, we get to know Mexican Americans from the beautiful neighboring country of Mexico. First, we'll see how they have been part and parcel of these lands. Later, from culinary arts to music, and from painting to dance, we'll see how they put their Mexican stamps on all of the artistic fields in the USA. To check it all out, make sure to stick around. All coming up on the next World in America.
Mexican people are some of the most kindest and warmest and happiest people I've ever met.
Family-oriented, hard-working people of faith that are just here to make a better life for themselves.
The Mexican culture is enormously rich in its history and in its heritage.
We carry our culture. Mexico is just who we are. We are Mexico.
Mexico is located in the southern part of North America. It shares its border with the United States of America to the north, with the Pacific Ocean to the south and west, with the Gulf of Mexico to the east, and with Guatemala to the southeast. Mexico is the most populous Spanish-speaking country in the world, with a population of more than 110 million. Its capital is Mexico City, which is the third largest capital city in the whole world after Tokyo and Seoul. Mexico boasts a rich heritage, home to many Mesoamerican civilizations like the Olmec, Maya, and Aztec civilizations, which existed across 4 millennia. Conquered by the Spaniards in 1521 and colonized for the following 300 years, Mexico was known as New Spain during this period. Its independence was declared by the legendary priest Miguel Hidalgo in 1810. He was executed after the spark he kindled turned into a raging fire, and this independence was finally recognized in 1821, which also marked the beginning of the First Mexican Empire. Then came the Mexican-American War that ended in 1848 with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which forced Mexico to give up almost 1 million square miles of its land to the United States. The second part of the 19th century saw the French intervention as Napoleon III established the Second Mexican Empire. The 20th century for Mexico was marked by revolutions, civil wars, and her people's unrest with the corrupt governments, but at the same time serious economic growth between the 1930s and the 70s. Today, the United Mexican States is a federal republic composed of 31 states with a growing economy that is the 11th largest in the world. Meet the Sanchezes. Against the preconceived notions about Mexican immigrants in this country, Aarón and Ife are among the many successful Mexican Americans. Hailing from artistic families, Ife is an up-and-coming music recording artist, and Aarón is a well-established restaurateur and a popular Food Network chef.
My name is Aarón Sanchez. I was born in El Paso, Texas in 1976 and came to New York in 1982 with my mom and my twin brother.
My name is Ife Sanchez Mora. I'm 32 years old. I'm a mother of one. I live in New York City, in Manhattan, Lower East Side, and I'm a singer-songwriter and musician.
My love of cooking was born from a young age because my grandmother was a great home cook, and she basically taught all 4 of her daughters how to become great cooks. And my mom owned a catering company in El Paso, Texas, and then she got a wonderful opportunity to come to New York and really sort of make her name in bringing Mexican food to New York in the early 80s. So as a child, I sort of went along for the ride, and that really was where the foundation for my love of cooking was born.
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. My father is from Mexico, and my mother is African American, and they're both musicians.
My name is Francisco Mora Catlett. I'm a musician. I came to the U.S. in 1970 to study at Berklee College of Music. That was my coming into the United States.
I grew up sort of on my mom's hip when she's singing on stage and just completely surrounded by music.
Both very hardworking, the Sanchez family recognized the best this country offers to all of her new members.
The great advantage that Eva had being in the United States, going to school, was that we had a nice house to live on. I grew up in an apartment in Mexico City. She grew up in a house, a nice house with a front yard and a backyard, a driveway, we had a car, she had her own bedroom. School was like 3 blocks away from the house. We can just take her there, walk back, on 4, It was very nice.
It's the one country that there are no excuses. You can get everything that you want, and it's true. You just have to put your mind to it.
When you come to the United States from another country, or when you are here growing up, you understand that you can do whatever you want to do, that the potential is limitless.
For most immigrant Americans, learning the English language or getting accustomed with American culture are the main challenges. But for Ife, who is second generation, the challenge is the other way around, which is reconnecting with her Mexican roots and learning the Spanish language. Aaron is a great help to her in this department.
I'm probably the only person in my family who does not speak Spanish fluently, but right before I met Aaron, I just felt this need. I started writing songs in Spanish, and I felt this need to just really connect more with my culture, and I knew that that would be having to learn to speak the language fluently. So it's definitely no coincidence that when I met Aaron, who's Spanish speaking fluently, he said to me, he's like, don't worry, I'm going to help you with your Spanish, and you're not going to be the great embarrassment to your family anymore. So what he does is he'll speak to me in Spanish for the most part. It's definitely been helping my Spanish by him always speaking to me in Spanish.
Well, it would be a big miss visiting Aaron's house and not have him cook something sizzling. For him, the most enjoyable cooking is the one he does for his family.
At my house, I cook quite a bit. I like very simple cooking. I don't like to, once in a while I feel I want to do something very challenging, but because usually when I get home I'm tired, I just want to make something simple. So what I'm going to make is something very simple for my family here. Up in the north of Mexico, where my family's from, there's nothing but cattle. My family were cattle ranchers in Chihuahua and Sonora, so for me, there's nothing better than a great taco de carne asada. So I'm gonna do just a little salt and pepper, and then we're gonna sear this meat really quickly on a hot pan. The whole idea here is just to get a nice sear. And the great thing about tacos is it's something that you can feed your whole family with. You can have different fillings. You can put your favorite salsa. Take the meat off. And then I'm gonna give it a quick chop. And the whole idea is that you want everything to be sort of bite-sized pieces so they can fit very easy in the taco. And it's part of Mexico, as mariachi music is, you know, is synonymous with the culture. So you get your meat, and then you could put your salsas al gusto, to your liking, right? So you would put either some cilantro, some chopped marinated onion, of course some lime, and your favorite salsita, right? But since I have my family here and they have any different tastes and ways that they like their tacos, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna serve it to them like this, and then we're gonna move over to the table and see what everyone likes. Aquí estamos. Espero que tienen hambre ustedes porque aquí tengo tacos de carne asada.
Antonia Guerrera is a Mexican-American artist who creates artwork that predominantly engages an essential experience for most Mexican immigrants: uprootedness. Through her drawing, she gives voice to these experiences of immigrant Mexicans who have left behind empty villages and uprooted communities.
The effect of migration in Mexico has been tremendous. There have been entire communities of young men that have left the town, and the town is made up now only of elders, women, and children. I've been involved in developing an art project, a great deal of it devoted to the questions of immigration and identity transformations, could be called transcultural identities. The one that is behind me is an enormous maguey plant, and it was taken in a rural setting in Mexico. It refers to one side of the border, the other side of the border, the experience of leaving behind what it is we leave behind, what it is that we bring with us as we cross over and begin a new life. The image that is related here, that of an empty chair, I think opens the question of the void, the emptiness that is left. The stitching and the fact that it's made up of different parts has to do with fragmentation, has to do with falling apart and coming back together, of stitching ourselves back together, of recreating a reality. It relates to everything is in perpetual state of change.
Something Mexican is sizzling at any given time of the day at Don Jose Mexican Restaurant, located in Parsippany, New Jersey.
We opened with my brother this business here in 1998, 1999.
Guacamole is the quintessential appetizer that complements pretty much any Mexican dish that it's served with.
My name is Jose Arceo. We're going to start to do that for appetizer, guacamole. When you're going to prepare guacamole, you just open up fresh avocado, and you mash a little bit. You put a little chopped onions, cilantro, chopped cilantro, fresh tomato, black pepper, salt, and fresh lime. This is the guacamole, please enjoy it.
can't go wrong with lots of cheese on a 12-inch tortilla. With quesadillas that are simply mucho delicioso, Don Jose does exactly that.
We have in here flour tortilla. We put in here. Here we have a mustard cheese, cheddar cheese. We put in the tortilla for like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
You have the tortilla, you have the beans, and you have life, because that is the main, the most important, to have to, support and grow your family.
Now we want to close a little bit. Right now it's ready, you can see. Now we want to serve on the plate and cut it in half. Now you put a little bit in the broiler. Right now you can see that little crispy. You put the sour cream and pico de gallo. The quesadilla is ready to serve it. Please enjoy it and pick it out.
A must-have main course at Don Jose is the chicken fajita served on a hot plate.
And here we have a chicken boneless. You open up. And here we have the ingredients: onion powder, garlic, paprika, and a little cayenne pepper, and salt, and a little oregano. Here you put the blackened chicken. Very hot pot with oil. You can see the color, nice and brown, both sides. You take it out. Cut in slices. Put in the broiler for like 2.5 minutes. And after that, you serve it with pico de gallo, sour cream, and guacamole and flour tortillas. It's very hot plate, seasoning, onions and peppers. Please enjoy blackened chicken fajita from Don Jose.
El norte y el sur peleando cambian la atmósfera azul. Que cuando canta el pijul, señal que andaba rondando. Ay, la 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 la, ay, la 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 la, ay, la 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 la.
Mexican Americans do their best calling attention to their exquisite heritage of performing arts. Here, the Calpulli Mexican Dance Company presents the best of traditional and modern dance of Mexico to a sold-out audience at the Queen's Theater in New York City.
Our mission is, promote Mexican culture and traditions using live music and theater.
Many nations and ethnic groups have added a variety of spices to the Mexican salad bowl, and these influences can also be seen in its music and dance.
There's definitely African influence. You can hear it even in the music, the percussion and the rhythms. A lot of the movement, we'll like shimmying and that, or anything that's very like open, or we're using your hips a lot. That's also pretty African influenced. There's Spanish influence, obviously, from the conquest, and that even our costumes, you know, we use something called a peineta in the state of Veracruz, which is this, you'll see it in flamenco, and sometimes they're different sizes, but it's like on the back of your hair, and that comes from Spain.
A lot of Mexican dance, traditional Mexican dance, the ones especially the ones that are Hispanic based, are very much footwork based. But the Aztec dancers are this whole body interpretation. You're eagles and you're meditating, and it's a very strong ritual, and it's barefooted. And the costuming, I mean, it's fantastic, you know, with the feathers and everything. So for me, that's my favorite because it just feels like you're dancing with every part of your body.
Homem, gente, naui.
While exposing Mexico's artistic heritage to many, dance companies like the Calpulli also help its own members to connect with their ancestral heritage.
I probably wouldn't be as exposed to my Mexican heritage if it wasn't for folklorico dance, for companies like Calpulli.
Dance has really been a way to kind of be proud of my Mexican side, and at the same time not have to feel like I have to give up anything that's American. So it's been a way that I've learned about Mexico without really having traveled there very much. You know, it's a way that I've internalized my Mexican culture.
With their gorgeous performances and sophisticated artists celebrated by many, delicious cuisine enjoyed by all, and an upright work ethic admired by most, Mexican Americans are once more becoming an essential part of the American cultural landscape.